Hey, everybody.
Hello,
I'm Kelly,
I'm Corey.
and we are siblings. Began this a while back, just sharing about our life and our experiences and just whatever comes through us. It surprises us sometimes. So, I feel like the last time we recorded was on Easter Sunday, and I feel like so much has happened since that time. I've been on a trek in the wilderness with our youth group for 3 days. I've had a lot of stuff coming up. I've become really, really aware of a major pattern and the behaviors that go along with it. So that's been happening for me. We had a general conference with our church this past weekend, and so I've had 2 days of just like input and just listening to people share talks and testify about Jesus Christ, and just like they just shared so much information. And over the past 2 days, I have been sitting in just like kind of a meditative state and just journaling a lot, because like I said, I've had a recognition of a major thing that has come to light within me, and I recognize a really deep root where some of these behaviors have come from. And so, Corey said it was my turn to share, and I've just had so much on my mind that I'm just like, I don't even know where to start. I don't even know. And so I just pray that God helps me to share really those things that are most important. One thing that is coming to me is I was listening to something last week, and they said to ask God, ask him, what do you think about me? And I've never done that before, just praying and just asking God, what do you think about me? And so as I was sitting on my balcony yesterday or the day before, I asked him, what do you think about me? I mean, I don't know what I was expecting to happen, but I began to feel just this pounding in my chest, and I was so overcome with this feeling of so much love. I just felt so much love. And it brought me to tears. I wasn't bawling or anything, but it just brought tears to my eyes because I just felt so much love from him. I catch myself sometimes comparing my walk with God to other people's walk with God. I listen to and I follow and I hear just a lot of stuff out there. I'm a very spiritual person, and I'm drawn to other people who are spiritual and who share, things. And so I'll hear, people's experiences, and I'll hear the practices that they do that bring them closer to God. And I'm like, I don't do that. I don't have those practices in my life. And I'll compare myself. I'm thinking, and I'll think to myself, they must be closer to God than I am closer to God. Because they just sound so spiritual and they share all these things, and it's just like, and so I feel like my relationship with God isn't as strong. It isn't like theirs. And which led me to ask God, what do you think about me? And just, I recognize that my walk with God is just perfect. That I don't have to compare myself to other people. I don't have to do all of the things that other people do. I'll sometimes get hard on myself for not getting on my knees to pray. I'm like, I need to be more, whatever. you know, because I've been taught my whole life that whenever you pray, you bow your head, you fold your arms, you're in a very reverent, like there's just this way that I've been taught to pray. And it's like anything outside of that, I'm not being respectful or you know, there's just judgment. I've just got a lot of deep judgment about my walk with God because it's not exactly how I've been told it should be. You know, and so I'll get hard on myself thinking that maybe it's not as close as it could be, or you know, I don't know. I get in my thoughts a lot about that, and I just realize that I'm really hard on myself about that. And I know that where I am, that it really is perfect, that I do walk with God every single day. Like I wake up and I'm so grateful and I'm thankful, and I live in so much gratitude. And when we live in gratitude, we're living in the presence of God. We're living in His Spirit. And so it's like I don't have to compare my walk with God. And I hope that those of you out there who listen to us don't compare yourself to us and the things that we do. It's all about all of us really coming to hear, to listen and to hear and to feel what is right for us. And only we know that, and only God knows that for us. Like I connect with God through nature. Like I have major sensitivities to things that other people don't. And like if I were to say, you know, just go sit in nature and sit in front of the tree and feel the breeze and listen to the birds, you know, that might not work for you. It just might not. I mean, I can't imagine it not working for people, but I mean, I'm sure that there are people that just maybe now in their life it does not work for. And just because it works for me, you know, you can't compare yourself to my walk with God. We all have to find that walk for ourselves and what works for us. And one thing too that truly works for me is the path of Jesus Christ. You know, there's so many paths out there. There's just so many different ways, and I have just learned for myself. I'm just grateful for that path. But I don't know, that's one thing that's coming to me. I mean, I could talk, I've got so many other things that
I think it would be a lot easier to judge yourself as doing better than us than it would be to judge yourself as not as good as us, in my opinion.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's judgment. I mean, we've talked about it so many times, but comparing ourselves to others, comparing ourselves what they have, I mean, all we're seeing is we're judging you hear it all the time. We're judging our insides to their outsides, you know, and it's impossible to get an accurate judgment. And that's why only God can judge, because He knows our hearts. So it's so easy to walk around and compare ourselves to people. You know, and it's sad that people feel the need to do that. That I've felt the need to do that, to make myself up look like something that I just wasn't. I think that a hypocrite is the number one person that tries to put himself above others. You know, because you don't want people to know. You don't want people to know that you're not sincere. So you're going to look for all those people that you're better than. But yeah, that comparison thing, I mean, we're all children of God. We are all born of deity. We are all, I mean, He's doing everything He can to get us to come back to Him. He's no more focused on me than He is on anybody else. He wants us all. And if I'm doing anything to make somebody feel uncomfortable in any situation, well, then I'm driving them away from an opportunity to grow closer to God. If I am behaving in a way that is more Christ-like and doing things that makes a person want to find out what it is that makes me smile. What is it that makes me happy? Well, then I'm helping that person draw closer to God. So anytime we're judging somebody or comparing ourselves to somebody, we're just building a wall to allow the Spirit to communicate between the two of us. I mean, it's impossible to have a peaceful interaction with somebody if the first thing you're doing is judging them. It's there's an energy there. They can feel it. I can feel it. I think everybody can feel it. I don't think I'm some special person that has this sixth sense of what somebody's thinking. I think it's just there. You know, that peace when there isn't judgment, when you're with somebody and that flow of energy is just, it's perfect. There's nobody pulling or trying to get something out of it. There's no judgment. There's no comparison. We are just both children of God trying to learn and grow and progress. It's so easy to get caught up into that too. To forget and to say, well, why don't I have that house? Why don't I have that car? And for me personally, I really just don't care. I just, it's not part of me, but I do understand it. It has been part of me. I mean, I've wanted the nice things, and you know, it's comparing being on that, what is that, the Johnsons or whatever, you know, comparing yourself to your neighbor. You got to keep up with the Johnsons or keep up with the whatever.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. I mean, that's a huge reason why this country has all the problems with debt and everything that so many people struggle with in their marriage and in their family, is because we're comparing ourselves to others. We want to reach some level of happiness.
Yeah.
And we don't realize that nothing is ever going to bring us happiness. So looking at somebody and say, man, I wish I had that, and they get home and they're sitting in their big house with a gun in their mouth at night after getting obliterated. And I mean, that could be a regular thing in their life. And here we are looking at them during the day thinking, man, I wish I had that. Here I am comparing myself to a person that's absolutely miserable. So like, the only thing that we can do is bring light into the world. You know, share our testimony of good things, of what things are bringing happiness into our lives, and not tell anybody how to do it. Just what's working for me. Because I have been that wretched, miserable person. I have been at the top whenever it comes. I mean, I've been as miserable as anybody out there. I have hated myself. I have judged myself. I've beat myself up. I've tried killing myself, not specifically, but in a slow way. I've hated myself. And, you know, now that I've found happiness and I know where it comes from and I know what it is, it's easy for me not to judge people because of where I've been. I still compare myself because there are times where I slip up and I say, oh man, I wish I had that. But in all reality, I have everything I need. Everything I need. Yeah.
Yeah, we get caught in searching for happiness outside of ourselves. We think that there's something outside of ourselves that's going to make us feel good and make us feel happy. And
we're going to get there.
And that's where we get caught in the addiction cycles and in all of the behaviors and patterns and just all of the stuff that keeps us miserable, because we think that something outside of us is what's going to bring us that happiness. And I'm also coming to truly learn and live and understand that the happiness and the joy, it comes from inside of us. It comes from feeling at peace within us. So, all right, so this will move on to something else. So, I might have shared on here about, like, I've had an eye twitch going on. Like, it started a couple weeks ago. I started having this eye twitch. And I started to recognize that this behavior within myself, I was controlling some things. That I have let go of control, like, really well in a lot of areas of my life. But I recognized I was still trying to control some things. So, over the past few days, I've come to recognize how whenever I was a child, there was an experience that we had in our family. Well, I don't know, you were so young you might not even remember it, but it happened to me, and so I was like caught in it, and I was recognized it. But I was 10 years old, and my oldest sister was 16 years old, and we shared a bedroom, and I never know how much to share about, like,
Go for it.
Family stuff that's just like
They probably won't watch it.
Yeah, that's true. So she was a 16-year-old teenager, and I was 10 years old, and so I saw everything that she did and didn't do, and I watched her, and and I would see her sneak out the house, and she'd sneak back in the house early, whatever, hours later, and smell like cigarettes, and I just, like, for 10 years old, I worried. Like, I would lay in bed worrying about her, where she was, what she was doing, when she was going to get home, and I just had so much worry and so much fear and so much anxiety within me, and and I didn't want her to get in trouble, and I feared for her. So she one day wanted to go for a walk, and my parents made her take me with her, and so we get down the street, and she didn't want me to go with her. Like, she met with a friend, and they were gonna go riding around, as teenagers do, and she wouldn't let me go with her. And so I was really upset, and I was hurt, and I was angry, and so out of that anger, I went home and I told my dad everything I knew about my sister. I told on her. I shared her secrets. I told the truth about what was going on. And, then I was so scared. I was so nervous. What's going to happen? And so she came home, and she got into some trouble. And she was very mad at me, and she did not speak to me. She did not look at me. I had to sleep on the couch for I don't know how long, because there was just that tension. There was just that feeling of, like, it's my fault that she's in trouble. It's my fault. Like, I took the blame, as a 10-year-old little child, for the tenseness in our house, and nothing, because of just the way that we've talked about it before, how we just were very quiet and repressive, and it's just a generational thing that was just taught, and we just continued that. We just didn't talk about anything, and so this experience happened, and nothing was spoken, nothing was discussed. And so I'm a 10-year-old little child living on these eggshells, and in this fear, and in this anxiety, and in all of these emotions, and it felt like nothing was processed, nothing was spoken of, nothing. And so what did I learn? I learned a lot of lessons from that experience. I learned to never tell a secret, because if you tell secrets, you're gonna get punished. You're gonna feel like all this kind of stuff. I'm gonna get ignored. I'm not going to be spoken to. I learned this as a 10-year-old. Like, as a child, we just learn things in ways that stick with us, because we have this protective mechanism within us that wants to protect us from ever feeling that way ever again. I don't ever want to feel that sense of like abandonment. I mean, truly, that's a strong word, but as a small child, that is how that feels. A feeling of just being ignored. I think I already said that one. Just many different behaviors get created through experiences in our lives. And so that is where, I began to hold secrets. Like, I'm a secret holder. Anybody can tell me anything and I'm going to keep that secret. I've had a hard time just speaking, just sharing truth, sharing anything that might make another person uncomfortable, that might hurt another person, that might cause any pain around me. Like, I just internalize. I keep everything in. I will walk on the eggshells, and I will keep the anxiety in me and everything repressed because I don't want anyone else to get hurt, punished, experience anything.
You talking in past tense?
Yeah, but it has continued. It has continued up until this past week, whenever all of this has been coming up, and I recognized because I had an experience that, again, is the same exact behaviors, the same exact thought patterns of that experience. And it has continued throughout my life. I have created experiences. I have created events within my life that has kept that alive and has kept other people in a dance with me, behaving in certain ways that keeps this going on in my life, because it's like this undercurrent of, I didn't even realize it. I didn't even know. I mean, I'm aware sometimes that I'm acting and behaving these ways, but like, I just haven't I haven't seen it, like truly seen it. And so it's coming up and it's coming out, and I'm recognizing it and I'm feeling it. And so now it's like, okay, so now I'm aware. Now is, I was thinking, now is the hard work of changing that. But I was like, but it's not even hard, because it's all in surrendering it. And surrendering is like the easiest thing that we can do, though it feels so hard. Like, because I've had so much control, and with that control. Right. Because it's a manipulative behavior of trying to make things a certain way around me, instead of just letting God flow and allow. And so our recording
that we did a year ago on keeping secrets and carrying other people's garbage or whatever, that's I will never be in that situation again. I just have a very firm stance when it comes to that. I'm more than happy to go through things with people. If I'm asked for advice, I'm more than happy to share that advice if I have anything to share. But if you come to me with a secret that's affecting somebody that I love, it's over. I mean, I'm going to tell you, you need to go share that with that person I love, or I'm going to share it. I'll give you a period of time, but when it comes to walking on eggshells,
I can't do it anymore.
Being scared that I'm going to upset somebody because I believe in Jesus Christ. I mean, what is that about? Scared to share my testimony about the person that died for me? Insecure that somebody might know I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? I mean, that's been gone for years, but I mean, it was always, we're a peculiar people, we're different. Well, not really. We just want to do good. Doesn't mean we always do. Doesn't mean we don't harm people and do things that are just inappropriate. I mean, anybody that's watched our videos knows my history. So worthiness, feeling comparing myself to who I believe I should be. I guess comparing myself to the image of myself that I compare myself to myself is the real problem. Like, am I good enough? Am I worthy to tell somebody that I believe in? Well, of course. He didn't come here to save the healthy that don't need help, which we all need help. But he came here to save people like me, the wretched sinner, the person that is lost without him. And keeping secrets, it's going to keep me sick. Walking around on eggshells, worried to upset somebody. Somebody needs to be upset. Exactly. Somebody needs to get out of their comfort zone and have their boat rocked. And it's just necessary. And your little story, something needed to change. Because otherwise you were responsible for something that and at a very young age, you didn't understand all the stuff going on. So you were just lost and there was nobody there to explain it to you. But you did the right thing. Right. No matter how much it made somebody angry, you did what you were supposed to do because that was not your secret to keep.
Right.
And so many times we feel like we need to keep something to ourselves because we're going to hurt somebody. We don't want to rock the boat. We want to be the peacekeeper. Well, you're not keeping peace if you are the one that is in complete shambles. You're the one that's hurting. You cannot keep peace with other people if you're not at peace with yourself.
Right.
So yeah, that's a great example.
Yeah. And it's coming up, and I'm just realizing that I still have these behaviors. It's so frustrating because it's like, I feel like I progressed so much and I'm doing so good, and then it's like, then this comes up and it shows itself. But that's really the beautiful thing about this just recovery and just life and growth and progress is that God shows us line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. It's not like he throws it all at us at one time where we have to have this breakdown, and it's just he shows us gradually these things, and so that we can improve our lives, so that we can be better, so we can overcome these things that keep us stuck in these patterns that keep us sick and that keep other people around us sick. Because codependency is such a sickness. We're trying to control everything instead of just letting God have control over it. And I've had this fear, as I was journaling, I was just like, I've been stuck in this pattern for my whole life and in these certain behaviors and just doing things the same exact way over and over and over because it's where I'm comfortable. It's what I know. And it's like, I don't know what's on the other side of me being able to speak and to make these changes that need to happen, because I cannot continue my life in this same way. And it's like, I know that with God anything is possible, and I know that as I overcome these things that I've been dealing with my whole life, that on the other side of it, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. I mean, it's going to be so different and so beautiful because I've never lived without these behaviors. I've never gone past this certain point of living, and so it's really beautiful. It's scary, and it's like it brings up a lot of feelings and stuff and emotions, but I know that God is bringing me through this, and he's helping me and he's showing me, and so for that I'm just very grateful. And it's so amazing because like I said, for 2 days I've been sitting outside on my balcony just writing and journaling and just in meditation and thinking and stuff, and I have been surrounded by so many red birds. The red birds have been everywhere, and I'm just like, I just love it because I know that I'm surrounded by angels. You know, I mean, we're told in the scriptures that we're surrounded by ministering angels, and especially during times of major changes in our lives and things, it's like God just really makes himself manifest in our lives. And if we have the eyes to see and the ears to hear and we are just aware of it, it brings so much comfort and so much peace, and I'm so grateful.
Yeah. Life does just, it doesn't make it easy, but life gets so much easier when you're just doing those simple things. Just doing the simple things. And you know, we talk a lot and joke like we've got so far to go, but we're already there. And you know, we've come so far from where I've been, but I'm right where I'm supposed to be. But life is just so much better when so many of those behaviors are just becoming weaker and weaker. You know,
Yeah.
I don't walk around wondering where I'm gonna get drugs. You know, if I'm gonna run out of my drugs, if I'm gonna be sick, that's not an issue in my life today. You know, now it's like a couple weeks ago, I was getting glasses so I could see better. Now it's going to the dentist to take care of my teeth, getting my blood work done to make sure that all my blood is okay, doing things to take care of my health and eating right. It's kind of funny. My daughter had a birthday and we got a cake and we brought the leftovers to the house, and the whole time I was like, I don't want to bring this cake home. But I had eaten a piece at her birthday party and I brought it back and I was like, my roommates can have it. And I ate a piece there, and I found myself at like 2 or 3 in the morning just straight spoon out of the cake, eating this sugar down. And I was just amazed at how powerful sugar is. And that's just one example of things that I've been working on in my life to further myself from these things that just keep me sick. My digestive system has improved so much over the last year. So many things in my life have just improved because we're doing the things that Jesus Christ taught. Doing the little things that are overlooked in the scriptures. You know? Things that most people in the world just overlook. And they're so vital and so important. What am I putting in my body? What am I allowing to go on around me that I can actually have a positive influence on? And that's what you had. You had a positive influence on something, and whether there was anger or whatever, eventually I'm sure the person came to realize that it was the best thing you could have done at that time in your life. You know? And it's be true to yourself. Be true to God, and everything else will work out. And I am just 2024 is the best year I've had in a long time. It's only April, but it's beautiful. You know, just being able to be me and be happy with me. I have a lot of alone time, and I'm okay with that, and I never have been okay with that before. I've been so codependent and never knew it. I was just the drug addict. Everybody else was codependent, not me. But man, it's so freeing to be aware of your behaviors. It's so freeing to be aware of what drives me, what causes me to do these things, why am I like this, and just constantly working on overcoming the traumas of our past, facing them, not hiding from them, but sitting down and feeling them and crying about them and getting mad about them and getting grateful for that experience. And at the end of the day, after all those emotions are gone, saying, thank you, Heavenly Father, for that experience, because it is all for our growth and all for our good. Every experience we have is beneficial to our eternal progression.
the great thing too is that we don't have to go looking for our deep issues, you know.
They're
and
gonna
the
surface when you're
they
living
just-
right.
They do, like, they just come up, like, just life, just living life day to day, you know. I mean, I don't sit there constantly searching in myself for all these issues and, like,
They'll
digging.
find you.
I'm just living my life, but they just come up and they make themselves known and in just the most amazing ways. Just my little eye twitch, I knew something was going on. That, and then me controlling how my husband loads the dishwasher. I was started rearranging stuff. That is such a control thing. And I'm like, and I recognize it. He recognized it. He made a comment about it, and then I recognized it. And I was like, oh, my OCD controller has surfaced again. What is going on? What is at the root of this, and where is this coming from? And it has come up. And that experience was shown to me, and exactly how these behaviors truly got rooted within me, and how they have just become a consistent way of living. And now he is showing me so that I can be freed of it. I can do something different. And it's so beautiful. That's what this life is all about.
Yeah.
And I love it.
It's a lot of right ways to load the dishwasher.
Exactly.
And you can take that into all aspects of life.
Absolutely. Everything. I don't have to control it.
Yeah. I dry my feet before I step on the pad outside the shower.
Yes, I do dry my feet because I was taught to dry my feet.
My little
You?
sister taught me. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, my dad taught me that one.
But I mean, why do you have it outside the?
Right.
So I do understand a person that dries their feet off on the mat that's there to dry your feet off on.
Right.
So
It's so funny how we all have these little quirks and things about us that just get passed on that we just learn.
as long as you're not harming another person, you're doing things right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all about growth and recognizing and learning and growing and just letting go, turning it over and not wanting control.
Yes.
It's been a good month of just peace. I'm so grateful. Just I've been in a good place now for months. And it doesn't mean every day I wake up ready to take on the world, but for the most part it's good. I don't have that nagging thing in my brain that I've fought with for 30 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. Life is good. Love y'all.
It is. All right, bye.
Have a good day.